Silna Steyn, the Managing Director of SBL Incorporated. I grew up on a farm and I am a specialist property attorney. This gives me a special advantage in understanding the relationship between people living on farms and farm owners. These relationships are so important. Very often, people living on farms are also employed by the farmer, but it does happen that that's not the case. Tensions usually occur when there's animals grazing on farms and these relationships are not regulated. When somebody lives on a farm and they didn't have a specific contract to stay on the farm, but there's an agreement that a person can stay on the farm, usually those occupants are protected in terms of the Extension of Security of Tenure Act, also known as ESTA. There's been a long dispute in the legal circles around these grazing rights and whether it's incidental to the right to occupy. In other words, if you're allowed to live on a farm, are your animals allowed to graze on the farm? And after a lot of confusion and discussion and debates, the Constitutional Court actually clarified the position for us on the 1st of August 2025. What the Constitutional Court said is, it could be, if you're grazing animals for more than a year without a specific agreement or without the farmer actually intervening legally in that situation, to remove the animals from the farm then would be seen as an eviction. What now? Because we don't want to create tension. We don't want animals grazing on farms to just be removed without a court order or even getting to the point of a court order. So what we've done at SBL is we've decided to really look into this matter and put together the basis of a contract, which we adapt then obviously for each farmer for specific circumstances, to clarify how many animals are allowed to graze, where are they allowed to graze, what happens to babies by these animals? Do we mark calves? How do we mark them? By when do we mark them? And for how long can they stay? Are you allowed to have male animals, for instance? These kind of things to just make these relationships better and more secure is so important. Reach out to us today to get these grazing agreements in place to make the relationship between these parties, farm owners and people living on farms, just so much better for both parties.